City Sounds. Creating podcasts, creating podcasters.
This episode of The Local Haunt is called The Three Deaths and was produced and performed by Isabella Anderson, Saskia Cookson, Lucy Antonatos, Melusi Ncala and Yaman Mohammed. We step inside the Grenadier, one of London's most haunted pubs, to uncover the restless spirit of Cedric, a young Grenadier Guard who met a brutal end in 1818 after being caught cheating at cards. Cedric's presence lingers within the pub's walls, his spirit refusing to fade into history. But what truly keeps a ghost alive? This episode explores the idea of the three deaths he must experience before passing to the afterlife. If people keep telling Cedric's story, will he forever be caught between this world and the next?
You've been served?
Just a pint of beer, please. Ale, if you have any.
We've got Grenadier. A better. It's brewed down the road.
Perfect. Thanks so much. So, I heard this was the most haunted pub in London.
This pub has a strange history. It's supposed to be haunted. Some young soldier back in the day was caught cheating at cards. He got beaten so badly by his comrades, he died.
Oh, do you believe that?
There's definitely some weird things that happen around here. Supposedly, the ghost that's missing about is called Cedric. He's having a hard time passing to the other side.
So, how is he ever going to pass on?
There's a bunch of theories. But do you want to hear mine?
Of course.
Okay, you asked for it. I think that everyone has three deaths. Three phases that they have to move through before they're granted passage to the other side.
And what are those?
First up, it's the physical death. The moment your heart stops beating, or you take your final breath.
There's no smell like a cellar full of soldiers. The hot, stale sweat of 20 men mingling with ale, tallow and pipe smoke. You can feel it at the back of your throat. Smothering, I dare say, if one isn't already drunk as a wheelbarrow. Not me, though. Not tonight. I've got to stay sharp. There's something far more important in my sights. I'm feeling rather lucky at cards. Jones! I call out, competing with roars of laughter and the enthusiastic clang of colliding tankards. Jones! My fellow second loot has a wandering eye. No surprise he's tugging at the skirt of the landlord's daughter as she clears our empty mugs, instead of listening to me. It's his turn. Then it occurs to me, this moment of distraction might be my perfect chance. All in the game. Keep calm, keep steady. No one's watching too closely. Jones is busy wooing, and the captain, well, he's never sober enough to notice a thing. My hand trembles a little as I pretend to shuffle. I cut glances, left to right, across the bustling, smoky cellar, and carefully stack the deck. 1, 2, 3. The jack of trumps is mine, right where it should be. It's not really cheating, is it? Just evening the odds. And besides, the captain has fleeced me before with his damned luck. No one ever calls him out. All in the game, lads. I don't know if I imagine it, but there seems to be a momentary lull, almost a breath, before the room springs into action. Who breaks free from their stupor just long enough to witness my sleight of hand? I don't know. Who swears, who shouts, who throws the first punch? I don't know. Even more intoxicated with violence than drink, the sea of men can't stop once they've started. The ferocious thuds of their boots against my body grow dull. I feel as though I'm merely part of the scenery, watching myself bloodied and beaten to a pulp. A second lieutenant, a fogey, a cheat. Nothing. Nothing.
And what comes next?
That's your ceremonial death. Your burial.
I fumble my way down the stone staircase to the cellar. In the dim light, I can just make out Cedric lying cold and still. He looks like an effigy on a marble tomb. I can hardly believe that only 3 months after our wedding, I am standing here as a widow in front of his lifeless body. I struggle to remove his red tunic, white breeches and stockings and gently cleanse his bruised and bloodied body, rinsing and wringing out the cloth after every few wipes. His face is so swollen that for a second I think there's been some mistake, and it's some other man. But it doesn't last. I know it's him, and I cling to this moment of intimacy that will soon be gone forever. The following morning, I put on a black bombazine dress borrowed from a friend. It's slipping off my shoulders, and its musty smell makes me feel sick. When I return to the inn with the undertakers, the door to the cellar is locked. "Why did you lock him in?" I asked the landlord, but he seems as much disturbed by this discovery as me, and assures me that no one has been down to the cellar since I was there last night. He hands me the key, and it won't go in. The door must have been sealed from the inside. I jam the key back harder into the lock, and as I force the door open, a starling swoops out over my head and disappears up the staircase. It takes 4 undertakers to lug Cedric's coffin up the stairs from the cellar. They carry him feet first out of the inn and load him unceremoniously onto the waiting bier I have borrowed from the parish. There's no hearse for Cedric, and no formal funeral either, just a simple burial in a communal grave. He has died in disgrace, and his gambling debts are all he has left me. How could he be so stupid, so selfish? I take a deep breath and close my eyes to compose myself. I follow the bier as it draws away from the inn along the rickety cobbled streets, with Cedric's mother and young sister walking beside me. They sob quietly behind their black veils, but I'm too worried about the coffin slipping off the bier to cry. The wind whistles in the trees above us as we make the short journey to Knightsbridge Green. At the graveside, the putrid smell of rotting flesh makes me gag. I pull my handkerchief out of my pocket and hold it firmly over my nose and mouth. A crow caws from a branch overhanging the grave. I hear the familiar tones of Reverend Peter, only this time it isn't marriage vows he's reciting, but earth to earth, ashes to ashes, dust to dust, as Cedric's coffin is lowered into the ground. Everyone leaves. Standing alone at the graveside, I feel a warm breath on the nape of my neck. As I turn around, I see a man wearing a red grenadier tunic with jet black hair disappear through the archway of the north wall.
So, how about you? How did you end up here?
I've always loved ghost stories. When I was growing up in Iowa, my cousins and I used to go out to our barn with a flashlight and try to scare each other. While it was silent outside, we told each other about serial killers and werewolves. I remember the hair standing up on my arms when I got scared. I first came to the UK for a semester abroad. For the past 6 months, I've been at work, cramming in the library, and drinking at the university pubs. Sarah, an English girl in my hall, and I would sit with our drinks in a dark corner chatting and, yes, telling each other ghost stories. It reminded me of my childhood back home. It was here, hunched over a pub table, while the winter rain bore down outside, that I first heard about Cedric, who haunts the Grenadier pub in London. I heard that it was London's most haunted pub. That the ghost that haunts it had been killed because he cheated at cards. Objects disappear and mysteriously are moved overnight. One time, the bartender was setting up tables, and suddenly all the chairs had been moved to the next room. I heard that Cedric, the ghost, can't pass on until his debt is paid. It is now my last weekend before going back home, and I'm exploring London all on my own. I decided to go check it out for myself. The Grenadier is tiny. It's tucked away in mews that feel like they're from a different time. It's raining outside, of course, and I take my hood off, entering the pub.
Is that why you came here? To put some money on the ceiling?
Yeah, I guess ghosts and ghost stories have given me so much joy in my life. The least I could do is help them pass on. Here, I signed my name on it.
Thanks. I'll get that put up.
Was there a third death? You said there were 3.
Ah, yes. The last phase is the spiritual death. That is, being forgotten. Your name being said for the last time. Then finally, you can find peace and travel to the afterlife. So, if you ask me, putting these fivers on the ceiling is not doing anything to help Cedric pass. In fact, it is those ghost stories you love so much that is the very thing keeping him around.